for the host, Dr. Gilda Carl. Hello,
Hi,
Dr.
all.
Gilda.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, doing fantastic.
Well, today's story is very interesting, and I came up with it because the National Enquirer called me this morning and they asked me about this situation. And I thought it was a great one because everybody in our lives eventually loses someone.
Yeah.
It may be a pet, it may be a spouse, it may be, God forbid, a child, it may be many different kinds of people, a parent, an aunt, an uncle. I mean, it goes on and on. And they asked me about Dolly Parton,
Hmm.
who has done so phenomenally well. She was married to this man who was her rock. She always came home to him.
Hmm.
He didn't want any part of being in the limelight. He didn't want to be seen. He didn't want to be out there. He just wanted to be comfortable in his own space, and she would come home to him. And she's a gigantic star. So, what does one do after one loses somebody very close to them?
Mm.
It's very difficult. And 60 years. So the reporter said to me, well, isn't it true that some people just die when their spouses die? Well, that might be or might not be true, depending upon how involved a person is in her life.
Hmm.
Now, Dolly Parton has a million things going for her right now. And maybe, I mean, that's not the same thing as having the comfort of her husband waiting for her after each big gig, after each movie, after each Bollywood or whatever. I mean, she was Dollywood after each Dollywood appearance and whatnot.
Everything. Yeah.
And she has so much going for her, music, movies, I mean, everything. And yet she knew behind closed doors, I could just imagine this. She would take off her wig and get comfy in PJs, and he was the only one who saw her that way. And she could be real with him. She didn't have to be
Hmm.
performing. And I know being a performer on doing speeches as I do and having been on television for so many years, I know it is very exhausting. It just tears you apart from all the things that your life is about. I mean, being on stage, and then the stage ends, the performance ends, the circus leaves town, as they say on Broadway. And there you are, and you don't have that rock to return to. So I am certain that she has a lot of grieving to do and is in the midst of grieving. There was a point that she just recently, within the last few weeks, in fact, canceled appearances because she wasn't feeling well. Now, whether that is emotional, whether that is psychological, whether that is physical, we don't know. But when you have so much weighing on what you do and how you perform, that's the
Right.
pressure of a lifetime. And yet, she knew that in the background, she had her husband to
Yes.
return to as the rock.
Hmm. And
And
that's powerful to have that person. Right.
that is so powerful. He didn't want to be involved in any of her business things. He just didn't want to be a public person. He loved his role as a supporting character. And every time she came home, she knew he was there for her. So,
Right.
what happens next? I would love to hear from our audience. What happens next when you have lost somebody very close to you, or you have seen your parent lose somebody close to them, or you lose a pet or whatever? Uh, How do you go on?
Right.
Some people get pet replacements immediately. Um, in this case, it's not like she could have a husband replacement. And that was one of the questions the reporter asked me, do you think she'll ever find anybody else in her life?
Depends how many years she lives.
Well, she's about 80 now, and she looks like she's in great shape. But that depends upon how much she wants to be out there.
Right.
It all depends upon all of that. So I wish her the best. I love her as a performer. I love her positivity, her kindness, her beauty about everything. She always looks to the positive side of life. And boy, we need a whole lot more of that. But she is quite a legend. And to lose her rock, I don't know. I pray for her. All the money in the world cannot replace that person. And
Well,
we just hope that she gets on with the grieving. Grieving goes through all these steps, and we have to decide whether we're going to fall prey to these steps, to the anger and everything that is around that, or will we just accept that as part of life? There's a man who I knew, um, pretty elderly, and he continued to work. He continues to work, and his wife recently died. He lived in my condo. His wife recently died. She was beautiful. She was an actress. She was gorgeous. And she was on the treadmill all the time. I couldn't believe that this woman finally she had an aneurysm
oh
and she
my.
just died, just like that. And um, we said to him, all the neighbors said, "Oh, we're so sorry." And he said, "What can you do?" And this was interesting because he went ahead and connected with another older woman, and they got married.
Oh my.
And I mean, I'm telling you, they're elderly. They got married, and he didn't want to be alone, and he found her immediately. And his cavalier attitude was, "Well, what could you do? This is what happens." I was shocked, and everybody was.
Because men have a different mindset. They can't be alone
Yeah,
as much as
this
women can.
that's exactly right. And all the studies talk about how men desire and need relationships more than women
That
do.
it's because they
And
don't have guy relationships.
they don't have, that's
The,
right.
the
They
guy
don't have,
relationships are just like we talk, yeah, but there's
yeah,
no emotionalness.
yeah.
The only
You
emotional
talk,
you can be is this is with a woman.
if a guy comes home and he tells his wife, "Hey, I saw Brad. Oh, how's he doing? How's his divorce coming? How is he feeling?" He said, "I don't know."
Right.
That's a typical response from a guy. But a woman, if she says, "Hey, I ran into Mary. She just lost her husband. Well, how's she doing?" "Oh, she's just so still, so broken
Yeah.
up." And you know, and that's different for men and women. Usually, women mourn, men replace, simply because you guys can't be without us. We know that.
But women, you have enough of a circle that men don't really have.
That's another thing. Men will never show their underbelly to other men. "Oh, I'm grieving. I feel horrible. I just lost my dog, my wife, my whatever. I just lost somebody. I just feel horrible." They'll never say that. They'll say, "Hey, let's get a couple of drinks." And they'll drown their sorrow in their drinks. And many times they'll go out, find another woman, and have a bedroom antics. And that's going to be the replacement, they think. But I talk to these men, they come to me and they let their hair down. And the truth is, men hurt just like women hurt,
Right.
but they don't display it. So
Wow.
I wish Dolly Parton has all the success in the world with this. It's a terrible journey to go through, especially since she depended on her husband so much as her rock. in such a maniacal business as this entertainment business is.
100%.
So
Okay.
God bless her, and I pray for her.
All right. Go to drgilda.com and check out Dr. Gilda. Appreciate it, Dr. Gilda. Look forward to the
Thanks,
next
Neil.
combo. All right. That was a special simulcast Neil Hayes Show on the Gilda Graham podcast, guys. Take care.